Update. Woman has come forward claiming she had a child with my late father to try and obtain a cut of his estate. Original post. Using an alt because this is just ridiculous. So here's the situation. My father passed about 2 months ago from natural causes and left everything he owned to me and my sister. His estate is worth over $5 million, with almost half of that in liquid assets. His estate is still being split up now, not because me and sis are fighting or anything. The two of us are just working together to see who wants what and figuring out what to do with the rest. But that isn't the issue here. About a week ago, a woman we'll call Stupid B, SB for short, contacted my father's estate attorney, claiming that she had a secret child with him and demanded he get a third of the estate. I have never met this woman, or even knew she existed until then, but apparently, she is the daughter of someone my dad went to high school with, so it isn't out of the question at first. But here's the thing. My dad was diagnosed with testicular cancer 15 years ago and had both his testicles removed. So unless this kid is at least 14, then it's impossible it's his. So, entertaining the thought, I met with SB and was surprised to find out this secret child is 9 years old and looks nothing like my father. During this meeting, she demanded her child's share of my dad's estate and wanted 9 years of child support in cash. She claimed she would sue if he wasn't added into the will. My dad's estate lawyer said that if SB's kid passed a DNA test, he would budge, but she refused. She claimed she has a secret letter from my father acknowledging this kid as his own, but refused to provide it. The meeting ended with my father's estate lawyer telling her to pretty much get out until she's ready to do a DNA test, and her claiming she would see us in court. It's pretty obvious this is not my dad's kid, but SB is still trying to take from us. My question is, what can I do to make her go away? What kind of legal action can I take to make her disappear from my life? If she does try to take action against me and my sister, what can I do to make sure this broad gets what she deserves? Now for the top comments before reading the update. She has the same rights to the court as anybody else, including the right to contest an estate with claims of paternity. You can't just make her go away because she's pissing you off. You're obviously taking this personally, which is not helping. The attorney for the estate is dealing with it, and you should let them and not interfere. It's getting annoying, as she is spamming me and my sister with texts, claiming she is getting ready to sue us and that her son will get what he is owed. Despite this, the attorney has offered at least 4 times now to have a DNA test done, which she keeps refusing. So yeah, I'm pissed that this woman won't leave me alone, but I guess I'll just ignore her and let the estate handle it. Block her. Tell her one time to leave you alone, and if she doesn't, you will report the harassment to the police. My sis has blocked her, but I have not. I haven't responded to any of the texts, however. Let your lawyer handle it. Ask him to send her a letter telling her she is not to contact you at all, but only him when she is ready to take a DNA test. If she does contact you, he will deem it harassment and pursue your legal remedies. Then block her from contacting you. Attorney said just don't respond or tell her anything until she takes the DNA test or goes away. If she sues, the estate will take care of it. Listen to your lawyer. Do not engage SB and leave it to the lawyer to handle. She's trying to get you two to relent. The only response you should have for her is, please direct any future communication to our lawyer. Do not tell her anything else. Yeah, I just sent her a text telling her not to contact me and to refer to my lawyer if she wants anything. Now for the update. Seeing as the last post I made got popular, I thought I would come back and give an update. As much as I wish this ended dramatically with SB getting arrested or embarrassed in court, I'm sad to say this isn't the case. So after I sent SB the text telling her to stop contacting me, she began to blow my phone up with voicemails and texts. I saved them all obviously and forwarded them to my father's attorney. The day after I made my first post, my attorney had a letter sent to SB. Won't post the letter here, but I'll paraphrase to the best of my ability while trying to interpret all the legal talk. If you believe your child's claim to my client's estate is legitimate, please submit to a DNA test at your earliest convenience. If an independent DNA test confirms your claims of my client's paternity to your child, we will see to having him compensated, as according to local laws for the requested child support. On the claim of getting a portion of the estate, My client specified in his will that his estate would be left to his children, fake father 21 and sister. Unless you are able to provide the letter of recognition as you stated in my office on the 22nd, we will consider that your child was either disowned or unacknowledged by my client and will proceed as such. If you are unable to provide the claimed letter, I advise you seek legal counsel of your own. On the topic of your continued contact with my client's beneficiaries, I suggest you cease it immediately. They have made it clear that they do not wish to associate with you outside of legal dealings. If you continue to contact them, I have recommended they take legal action against you. The best part has to be how he ended it, however. If there is the possibility that your claims of my client's paternity to your child are misinformed or fraudulent, I suggest you admit to this and cease contact with me and my clients. If you continue these actions under false claims, not only will you be receiving a bill for my time, I will suggest that my clients take legal action against you. While this was going on, my sister tracked down SB's parents and got into contact with them. It turns out that SB has not had contact with her parents in multiple years, but that is not the important part. Apparently, this is not the first time she has done this. She pulled the same stunt with another man when this kid was born 9 years ago and got paid off to leave him alone. I also forwarded this to my attorney. So fast forward to this morning when I get a call from my attorney. SB is retracting her statements, claiming she misunderstood the situation and no longer believes her son is my father's kid. So yeah, no big dramatic ending sadly, but I guess this is over. Thanks for the advice originally. I know some people were asking why I came here when I already had an attorney, and to be honest, I see where you guys are coming from. I was pretty stressed, and with this woman trying to steal what my father had worked his whole life for, I really just needed a place to vent and look for advice on what I should do. Thanks for that. That's why you let the lawyers handle it, and I bet they had some fun crafting that response. My brother and sister-in-law are lawyers, and they live for moments when someone F's around and finds out. Apparently, she pulled the same stunt with another man when this kid was born 9 years ago and got paid off to leave him alone. WTF? Did that person not have the sense to demand a DNA test or other proof? She's gaming grieving people that have money. Not everyone is strong enough to keep fighting idiots when they are hurting. This woman cheated people once, and now thinks she can keep doing it. I hope OP and their lawyers wreck her for good. This makes me so mad. Scammers came out of the woodwork when my parents died. It was disgusting. This is on top of the legitimized scammers, like Funeral Home trying to convince the bereaved that they need a $10,000 coffin liner. Jesus. I thank my mother for handling all of that when my brother and sister passed, but even just pets. I lost my childhood dog last week, and the crematorium was charging me for viewing her one last time, for clippings of her fur. I told them they weren't allowed to pick her up until that afternoon. Then I just went back to the vet, saw her one last time there for as long as I wanted. I think I was in there for like an hour, and they presented her beautifully with a little rose between her paws and everything. The crematorium wanted to charge me double if I took over half an hour, and I got all the ear, tail, and belly fur clippings I wanted for free. Because shocker, she's my dog? That doesn't just end because she's dead. Scammers. She spent 16 years with me. They don't suddenly get ownership of her now that she's gone. What a wild business model to go with. Things that actually take effort, I understand charging me for, but freaking fur clippings? Seeing her one more time? Next story. Am I the a-hole for not pampering my husband after a blood draw? He definitely thinks so, and I'm too biased from my own experiences to be neutral. So here we are. This is not how he normally is day to day, but it is a recurring man-cold issue we have had in the past. Husband needed a blood draw today. He worked himself up all last night and this morning leading up to it. I know it can be scary and stressful. I know everyone reacts differently. I gave him grace and tried to be reassuring. But after so much complaining, I told him this morning he needs to cut it out. Because at that point, he was making it worse for himself, and he needed to focus on the positive. He should tell the nurse or whoever that he is nervous and doesn't like needles. He didn't handle watching my epidurals well and hasn't had his own blood drawn in a long time. Today was our kid's first day of school. We have 3. Each pregnancy got consecutively worse, where my youngest was considered high risk. So I got a lot of blood draws in those 27 months, and I fainted or almost fainted every single time. I know I have a vasovagal response. I understand the nervousness and fear that comes with needles and blood draws, but I still did them because they needed to be done, because I told myself I could do it. I told the staff so they were prepared to help me. And after they were done and I was revived and considered safe, I either drove myself back to work or home to continue on with my day teaching or taking care of the house and kids. Because I had to and knew I had to keep trucking on because I am an adult. He said he thinks they took 2 vials, but he wasn't sure since he didn't look. That he was feeling perfectly fine, so he left right after. But 20 minutes into his car ride home, he was suddenly lightheaded, dizzy, and sweaty. He was able to pull over safely into a gas station. He had to sit there for a while until he felt well enough to go in to get some juice and crackers. He called me to stay on the phone the rest of the way home, since it wouldn't be safe to go back to work. He works with heavy machinery on a farm, didn't want him passing out or overexerting himself alone. I was glad he stayed safe and could rest. I had done school drop-off, cleaned the house, gotten groceries, went to the gym, picked up the youngest 2 to bring them to therapy, brought the middle back to school, then picked up lunch for the 3 of us, husband, youngest, and me, so we didn't have to cook. At this point, husband had slept in, gone to his appointment, come home and rested. He texted and called me constantly, saying all the lines of how he's dying and feels terrible. When I came home, I found him in the basement playing Xbox. When we were eating lunch, he was wandering around in a mopey, exaggerated way. It had been 4 hours since his blood draw, and while he still looked a bit pale, he was by no means on death's door. He wanted me to set out his food, to check his temperature, to open up his mail for him, to grab him water from the garage, all while I was trying to corral an overtired 3-year-old to eat and get ready for a nap. I said no to everything but the water, and told him he was fine. After lunch and getting the youngest down, he's back in the basement. I needed to shower, and just as I was getting in, I heard her crying on the monitor in our bedroom. I texted him asking him to check on her, or just come grab the monitor. He asked me to bring it down to him. I told him I was about to shower and didn't feel like wandering naked through the house half wet when he could do it himself. I heard him stomp up the stairs, and he came into the bathroom to give me a dirty look and a "really?" before disappearing back downstairs with the monitor. After my shower, I asked him what that was about. All he said was that I know he's feeling terrible, and it wouldn't have killed me to just bring him the monitor. I would have had to deal with her if I was home alone like normal, so what's the difference? I finally lost it and told him he's acting worse than our children. He's a grown man who got a little bit of blood drawn. He's not terminally ill, and I don't need to wait on him hand and foot because of one very common and simple medical procedure. I have enough stuff to do today, and I asked for help because he was home and was capable of helping out. He just thought I should kiss his feet, and he could lay around and get served by me. Now we're not talking to each other, and I know he thinks I should apologize, but I'm over this. I feel like he did it to himself, and I had to take the brunt of it with all the complaining and drama. Now for the comments. Today was our kids' first day of school. We have 3. I think you actually have 4, not the a-hole. I was just going to say the exact same thing. Dude needs to grow up. He's acting like a toddler, not an adult. She's juggling way more than him. Bro, not the a-hole. He didn't take your epidural well? That's insane. Dude needs to get a grip on reality, drink some water, and be a dad. How old is he? Because he's acting like a damn child. Haha, we're in our 30s. My last epidural I passed out on. Woke up to being tossed around with 20 doctors and nurses in the room because my blood pressure tanked and they lost the baby's heartbeat. Found my husband laying on the couch eating a sandwich and juice with a towel on his head because he also almost passed out. Last story. Am I the a-hole for locking my stepdad out of the house in the rain? I 16 female, have a mother 45 female and father 46 male who share custody of me after their divorce 10 years ago. My mother remarried a year ago to her now husband, 40 male. I'm split 50-50 between both parents, and currently I'm staying with my mother. Now on to my mom's husband. At first he was really nice, always trying to be involved. He showed up for my volleyball competitions at school, asked about my day, and gave me small gifts. However, over the past few months, he has become much weirder. He maintains hugs for too long. His hand rests really low on my back, and when I tried pulling away one time, he just tightened his grip and said I was being shy. Bear in mind, he's much taller and bigger than me. There have also been multiple times where he walks into my room without knocking when I'm in a towel, but it only happens then and never any other time. Whenever I raise a concern to my mother, she insists I'm exaggerating. Sometimes she talks to him and he backs off for a while, but then he does this thing where he talks badly about himself when I'm near, and then overcompensates for making me upset by giving me my favorite sweets, chocolate or ice cream. A few days ago, I was home alone with my mom's husband, and I was letting my dog out into the garden for a minute. It was raining heavily, by the way, when he came up behind me and hugged me. This, of course, made me uncomfortable, and I kind of pushed him off me with my elbow. He didn't fall or anything, just stumbled. From that point, I walked back inside, slammed the garden door shut, locked it, and went into my room upstairs, with my dog, of course. When my mom got home around 30 minutes to an hour later, she heard him shouting from outside and let him back in. He obviously told her what I did. He was soaked from the rain and really mad at me, and so was my mother. He now has a really bad cold and has been sick since that day. They both blame me and constantly lecture me every day, which makes me feel terrible since it wasn't my intention to make him sick. I just acted out of irritation. He technically didn't really do anything, so I'm second-guessing myself. I talked to my dad about everything that's been happening. He's mad I didn't tell him sooner how I felt around my mom's husband, so he's coming to pick me up soon so I can stay with him after arguing with my mother for hours on the phone. I'm so sorry for this really long post. I think I was ranting a lot. So, am I the a-hole for locking my stepdad out of the house and getting him really sick? Who cares if he's sick? Your stepfather is trying to hit up on you, and your mom is so desperate for a warm body to lay next to that she's allowing it. Go live with your dad. This will only escalate. You are not overreacting. You are not imagining stuff. He is just as creepy and weird as you think he is. And as a mom, I'm so disappointed in your mom. She is supposed to protect you. Oh, he's sick, all right, and nothing to do with his sniffles. Your dad should get full custody, and at your age, judges usually agree with a request from you. Too bad your mom isn't protecting you, but you need to protect yourself and stay away from the creepy dude. Also, it might be a good idea to look for cameras in your bedroom and bathroom at your mom's. Kind of goes hand in hand with the attempted grooming and weird advances.